Welcome to Buckeyes Tomorrow Morning for Wednesday, September 24th. I'm your host, Tom Orr. The Washington game in 3 days, the game against Michigan in 66 days. If you are planning your next event, make it unforgettable with Grateful Griddle, Columbus's favorite food truck, serving up smash burgers, gourmet sandwiches, and good vibes. Book your catering today at gratefulgriddleoh.com. I'm joined by Juck Miletti here on the indoor facility at field at Ohio State. Just got a chance to hear from Ryan Day as he sort of gets the Buckeyes prepared for what is going to be a little bit of a different kind of game week for them. Everything, when you're going out west, everything's a little different, and the Buckeyes are going to be traveling a little earlier than they normally would.
They are. Last time they went out, the Oregon game, I believe they left on a Friday, and this time they're going to be leaving on Thursday. He said there wasn't really any sports science reason behind it, but they had some extensive talks and decided they wanted to try it this way. They thought it'd be a little better. It makes more sense to me this way. I like it a little more time. Get a little more acclimated, and then they're going to have Best Fridays out there in Washington, and it all sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, and it was something I think that was a little bit informed by, last year against Oregon, he said they played fine in Eugene. It wasn't that they were, all super jet lagged or anything, but I think they also learned from their college football playoff experience where you're flying all over the country and you're not flying in the day before, you're there a little bit earlier. So it just sort of maybe helped a little bit last year. So obviously things went just fine in the college football playoff for Ohio State.
Yeah, these guys are vets here.
Yeah. So one thing they are not particularly veteran with is dealing with this particular venue. James Laurinaitis and Brian Hartline both played there when they were players at Ohio State, but everyone else, including Ryan Day, this is going to be, I think, pretty much everyone else, I'm guessing, including Ryan Day, this is going to be their first time at Husky Stadium and out in Seattle and playing on the campus of the University of Washington. This is certainly a stadium that has a reputation for being A, very pretty, and B, very loud. But what are the Buckeyes kind of doing to get ready?
Man, they're blasting the sound, right? They're getting ready for silent count. They got the guys working on the silent count all week. I love this stadium. I'm so excited to see them play out there. I remember the last time they were out there, I was expecting a good game. It didn't happen. And Brian Hartline mentioned last week about how they didn't really give them an opportunity to get loud, and I'm sure that is the plan this week. But this stadium, I wrote about it on BuckeyeHuddle.com this week about how they built this thing just straight up vertically because they had a small plot of land. Everything about it, the overhangs, this is going to be, they got number one coming in. The Washington fans are ready. They've been all around online telling us they're trying to set that record. They got number one. They've been waiting for it for a decade. So it's time to go.
Yeah, first time since I think 2013 or so that number one has come out to Husky Stadium. So yeah, so that's definitely going to be a big game there. One of the things, other than the crowd noise and the potential jet lag that Ohio State has to worry about, is quarterback Demond Williams. He's someone we've talked about a bunch this week. Ryan Day talked about, dual threat quarterback, someone he actually scouted sort of indirectly when Demond Williams was in high school, but, someone who I think Ohio State is keenly aware of the threat that he can sort of pose.
He's electric. I mean, he is just electric. And Ryan Day was talking, and I didn't hear this story, I just heard it just now, that he had he was scouting somebody else and noticed, boy, this quarterback is, fantastic, a playmaker, and then later on realized it was Demond Williams. But the guy is just quick as a hiccup, and like they've been calling him, like Kyler Murray, and that is exactly what he reminds you of. He can also throw the ball really, really well. Ryan Day talked about his accuracy, and obviously they got their hands full with this guy in all phases. He's confident, he's accurate, and I think they really got a big test in slowing him down. I don't think they're going to stop him. They're going to try to slow him down.
Yeah, and that's really all you can do. I mean, Washington has, on non-kneel-down possessions, scored on 21 straight possessions.
It's wild.
Which, someone asked Ryan Day about that, and he just kind of laughed like, yeah, man, what do you want me to say? Yeah, we're going to try and end that streak. We'll see.
The punt reel was short.
That was a great line. You're reviewing Washington's punts, and they had 2 punts this year to review, both of them. So I hope they had multiple angles. Otherwise, that would be a short meeting. 2 streaks they're trying to end. Number one, 21 straight non-kneel-down possessions that they've scored on. Second one, 22 straight home wins. Both of those, pretty impressive stats for Washington. Something else that's impressive about Washington is the size that they have on the outside. Denzel Boston, the wide receiver, but also both of their starting corners. Now, one of them is Takario Davis is banged up, and we'll see if he's going to play, but Ephesians Prysock, the other corner, both of those corners are 6'4". I mean, these are guys that present kind of a unique challenge on the outside on both sides of the ball.
I follow a lot of recruiting, cover recruiting, and a 6'4" cornerback is like a unicorn. I don't know how these guys landed 2 of them like at Washington, but watching them last week, it's odd. They've given up quite a few passing yards this year. It hasn't been the best, but they are big, legit dudes. They alter the way these wide receivers play. You can run a man beater against them, and they can get there and cover the thing. I mean, they're long. They called them leggy, which I have not heard before. I like that description. They're very leggy. But yeah, they got their hands full. Tacario Davis, again, not sure about him. I think they're the middle linebacker. I'll let you pronounce his name. I think he's out this game.
Buda Al-Ukta. He is
I
out.
knew you'd have it.
That was something that on yesterday's morning show had clips from Washington head coach Jed Fish, and he said Al-Ukta is definitely out. Tacario Davis he sort of hedged a little bit on that, but did talk about 3 guys who could potentially step in for him. But it's a sophomore who did not have a good game in the Apple Cup, a redshirt freshman who's listed as a safety, and a true freshman. So probably not a great option there for Washington. So I'm sure they're hoping that Tacario Davis is back.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with Jed Fish, Tom. I got to say, I wasn't sure about the hire. I didn't like the way he left Arizona. But going in there, year 1, they didn't have a lot of talent. He was very, upfront about that. Being able to keep that streak going of winning all their games at Husky Stadium, beating Michigan and USC out there last year. Talked a lot the last couple weeks to a lot of Buckeye fans about this. Many with the age-old, whatever, who cares? Ohio State, we're gonna kick their butt. A lot are really scared. I was very surprised to see this line come out under 10 points. I mean, and it dropped. It was 9.5, went to 8.5. So everybody expecting for this to be a heck of a battle, and Ryan Day certainly sounded like they're taking it absolutely seriously.
Yeah, for sure. And they're still trying to figure out some of the pieces of this game. I think one of the questions right now is you got 3 running backs you've played the last few weeks in James Peoples and C.J. Donaldson and Bo Jackson, and he certainly everyone is very high on Bo Jackson, including Ryan Day. But he was asked, can you play 3 running backs? Can you get 3 running backs in rhythm? And he's sort of hedged. It wasn't like, yeah, absolutely, we can do it in this game, but it was very much you're going to need them all over the course of the year.
Yeah, he was more, look, we're going to take this week to week. The game plan is going to dictate it. And then he did say, obviously Bo Jackson has flashed. You've been asked a lot about Bo recently. And I don't know if he was putting it out there just to say, like, you don't need to follow up. I know Bo's flashed. Or if we should expect to see Bo. It sounds like they might be trying to work him in. He's in the game plan. I don't know. But it was interesting. That was the only name he brought up out of his mouth.
Yeah, and then he was asked, I think, later about James Peoples and talked about a little bit about the fact that Peoples had not played as much last year.
Right.
Because just behind Quinshon Judkins, behind Trevion Henderson, which might sort of go to the point that it's hard to play 3 running backs in a rotation altogether.
And did say Peoples played better against Ohio.
Yeah, really for sure. It definitely has taken some steps over this last couple games. And it's hard. He talked about how hard it is to judge running backs during fall camp. That's something we talk about all the time in whether it's the June high school prospect camps or seeing guys when we're here in practice. Everyone wants to know, how does the running backs look? It's like, well, as long as no one's tackling them, and no one is, every run is a touchdown, right? But that makes it hard to know, okay, when you are getting tackled to the ground in the game, then how good are you?
Right. Are you going to get that extra 2 yards? He said you got to use some imagination. Which, again, another good coach thought there. I like that one.
All right. Well, if you want to hear more about this game, we're going to have a ton more about this game coming up all week long. You, on Wednesday night, have a live show.
I do.
You do. You
I do.
Let people know about when and where they can find you on Mondays and Wednesdays.
8 p.m. on Buckeye Huddle. Every Monday and Wednesday, come and join us live. We pull up the chat, talk to everybody. It's a good time. Come and join us.
And then we will have plenty more coverage from out in Seattle as well. Tony and I are flying out on Thursday evening. We'll be out there all day Friday, airline willing, to have a full day of pre-coverage and then a full day of coverage as well on Saturday. That'll all be at BuckeyeHuddle.com and YouTube.com/BuckeyeHuddle. Make sure you're subscribed both places. We're going to have a lot of interesting stuff coming this week from what should be a couple of very, very full and fun days out in Seattle as the Buckeyes get ready to take on Washington. That'll do it for today. Thank you guys all for joining us. Have a great day. We will talk to you tomorrow.